Welcome back to this tutorial. This is lesson 2 of Microsoft Word for beginners. We are going to learn formatting in MS Word 2021. My name is Pat from Primevox Academy. Let's get started. For us to begin, we are going to use the same Word documents that we have used in our previous session. So let us open it. Once the document is open, you can remember this from the previous line on our intro, that is getting started with MS Word. If you have not watched the video, please check the link in the description box below. Now, in this particular lesson, we are going to learn a whole lot that will help you to use MS Word as a professional document creator. We are going to learn about font type, font size, color, bold, italic, underline, alignment, line spacing, paragraph, bullets, and a whole lot. We are going to do this in a way that you may have not seen before. So please watch till the end. Okay? The very first one we are going to start with is font type. Assuming this is our heading, or let me just type another heading. Okay, so this is our heading. If I want to change the font type, I will have to come to this location where we'll have Calibri, okay? But for us to be able to see what I am doing, I am going to first of all change the font size. In order to do this, you will first highlight the text. In our previous lesson, I have taught you how to highlight a text. Just from the left side, click and hold the mouse and drag it. Once you have highlighted the text, you will come to this place where we'll have font size. Immediately you point your mouse pointer there, it will show you the name. So you can use shortcut key Ctrl+Shift+P. So if I click down, I can choose any size of my choice. You can see as I move, the text continues to grow or increase. So let me use 28. So we now have a new size for this particular text. Now, if I want to change the font type, I will leave it as highlighted, then come to this place and click using this arrow. Once I do that, you will see different font type. Okay, so as we are moving, you will notice that the font is changing. So you choose any one of your choice. Assuming this is what I like, I'll just click on it. We have a thick heading. We are using area black. You can as well change it if you don't like this one. Let me choose another one. Maybe something like this. Okay, so this is how to change font type. And again, if you want to color it, if you want to add color to it, remember I said you must first of all highlight it. This is to tell MS Word that you want the effect to apply to this particular text. Once it is highlighted, you will now come to color here and you can apply any color of your choice. Okay, let me give it this red color. Now, the next thing we are going to learn is bold, italic, and underline. Let us create new text for this particular lesson. Okay, with this text, I can apply any of these commands. Let me first of all increase the font. So I'll highlight, change the font from 11, that is font size, from 11 to 20. Now it is big enough. I want to apply bold to it. What I will do is to highlight it. After highlighting, I will come to this B. This B means bold. You can also use the shortcuts Ctrl B. So immediately you click on it, you will notice that the size of this text is no longer the same with this one because we applied bold to this. Another way of doing this is just by highlighting. Immediately you highlight, bold and other frequently used commands will appear here. So if I click now, it will make it bold. Okay, now for italic, I will do the same thing. Highlight, come to this I, or you can press Ctrl I from your keyboard. Immediately you do it, it will slant to the right. You can see the difference as I click on this italic icon. Okay, so you may want to use this to emphasize on a point. The next one is underline. All you will need to do is to highlight the text, then press this yo icon. Immediately you do that, it will give you underline. There are other types of underline and you can access them through this place. That is, if you want double underline, dash underline, dotted underline, and so on. This is how to apply both italic and underline operations. The next thing we are going to learn in this particular lesson is text alignment. So for the text alignment, you decide whether you want your text to shift to the center, to the left, or to the right. Currently, this text is aligned to the left. So if I want it to be at the center, I will have to highlight it. After highlighting, I will click on this button. Immediately I click here, it will move it to the center. If I want, I can also align it to the right, if that is what you want. Okay. Now we'll have another one that is called justify. We are not going to notice what justify will do for this particular text. Justify works best when you have large amounts of text. For example, if I increase the number of this text like so, let me also bring in more text. I just use copy and paste operation that will land in previous lesson. You can still go back and check it. So if you look at this text, you will notice that this left side is aligned in a straight line. You can see it, but the right side is not like that. So if you want to achieve the same thing at this right side, what you will do is justify. How do you do that? Just highlight the entire text. After highlighting, you press Ctrl J, or you come to this place and click on it. Immediately you click it, you will see that it is now aligned to the right. This last line is not aligned to because we do not have enough text that will push it to this alignment. Although some program has what we call force alignment that will enforce this alignment, but we do not need to do that. I hope you understand. Please click on the subscription button if you have not subscribed on this particular video. This is a way of supporting me. Also, remember to click the like button so that YouTube will recommend this video to many others. The next thing we are going to learn is line spacing and paragraph spacing. If you look at this text, you will see that the lines in between each of them is a kind of tiny. Let me also increase the whole text. Let's see how it looks like. If you are typing a formal document, don't use 11 font size. You should increase it to 14 or 13 depending on the content of what you are typing. So I am going to use 14 at this time. Now, if I want to increase the line spacing, because it will be too close to each other and difficult to read when printed, so you will need to increase the line spacing. Okay, so to do this, all I need to do is to highlight the entire text. After highlighting, I will then go to this icon known as line spacing. You can see it. You will see this icon immediately after justify. Okay, so they are all grouped into paragraph section. So once I click here, I will then choose if I want 1.0 line spacing or 1.15 or 1.5. I hope you can see how they increase as I move the mouse button. Okay, so for a formal document, you can use 1.5 or 2.0. Let me leave it at 2.0. So this is exactly how to do line spacing. And if you want, you can go into the paragraph section by clicking on this icon. If you click here, it will open the paragraph dialog box for you to now choose all the setup that you want. How you want, whether you want indentation, alignment, spacing, and all of that. You can see that we are using 8 points as our spacing. Okay, And apart from this paragraph dialog box, any other dialog box that you would like to open, just like this font dialog box, all you will need to do is to click on this little icon at the bottom right, and it will open the dialog box for you to make changes. There are a whole lot of changes here that you can make. I will show you one after another. So keep watching. Now, the next thing we are going to learn is bullet and numbering. When preparing a document and you have a need to create lists, that is list of items, assuming this is a list of items where I have share, like, maybe I can include comments. If I want to make this thing as a list or as a numbers, all I will need to do is to highlight the text. Once the text is highlighted, I will then go to bullet and numbering. So you can find them from here, from this particular place. Here we'll have bullets. So I will click here from the arrow, then choose the type of bulleted list that I want. I can use these dots, this circle, this tick, this arrow. Anyone you like, the choice is yours. Okay? And if it is not bullets that you would like to use, you can also make use of numbers. Let us try it and see how numbers work. So assuming this is what I have, I will just highlight, then come to the next icon where we'll have numbering. So here I'll have to choose whether I want numbers with dots or numbers with close parentheses. I can also choose if I would like to use Roman figure or alphabet. This is alphabet, capital letter, alphabet, small letter, and a whole lot of that. Just any one of your choice, you click it and it will apply that for you. Okay, so if I don't want it, I can use the undo function to return back to the initial state. Let me go back, then choose number. Okay, let me choose this number. And what happens next is that if you press enter now from the keyboard, it will automatically insert the next number for you. How cool is that? Okay, I just entered these two lines of text in order for us to practicalize the next lesson, which is subscript and superscript. So let me increase the two lines of text. Assuming we have this, and I want to make a superscript. That is, I want to write 2 raised to power 4. You know, you may be wondering, how do you do this? But it is very simple. All you will need to do is to highlight the one that you want to apply the effect to, which is 4. Once I highlight it, I will then go up to this place. You can see it here. So immediately you click on it, it will become 2 raised to power 4, which is superscript. And for subscript, I will just highlight this and then come to subscript. You can see it here. You can use the shortcut key, which is Control equal mark. So if I click on this now, it will become subscript. Okay, I hope you know what this means. Let me know in the comment section. Another thing that is also worth noting here is change case. Take for instance, if you look at this text, let me bring this one down. You know, if you want to move something down, you just put your cursor there and press enter. So if you look at this text, for example, I want to change the case of this text. Let me increase the font size first. Now, for us to change case, what do we mean by changing case? You have something in small letter and you want to change it to a capital letter. It is not difficult to do. Okay, once you highlight the text, you come to this place where we have capital A and small a. Then you click on it. You will see different cases where we now have sentence case, lowercase, uppercase, capitalize each word, and we also have toggle case here. This highlighted text is already in sentence case. How do I know? The very first letter here is in capital, that is sentence case. So if I want everything to be in small letters, I'll just click this one, lowercase. If I want everything to be in capitals, I'll click on this, uppercase, and it continues that way. So you can just play with it and learn how some of these things work following this tutorial as you do your practice. And finally, for this lesson, we are going to learn about other additional text effects. Take for instance this particular text. If I want to apply other effects to it, I can do that simply in MS Word documents. That is graphical looking effects. So after highlighting, I'll come to this icon where we'll have text effect and typography. So once I click here, I can decide to apply shadow to this text. So you choose any type of shadow you would like. You can also decide to turn it to outline, or you add reflection, or you add glow, or whatever text effects that you like to apply. So they are all here included. And that brings us to the end of this lesson. Please remember to subscribe in order to support Primevox Academy. Do not forget to share the link to this video with your loved ones. Also like it so that YouTube will recommend it to many others. The link to the lesson 3 will also be in the description box, and I will definitely put the links to any other related videos or relevant resources in the description box below. So do well to check it out. Until next time, keep learning.